Hey everybody, it's Liam Pete here again, and today's video is looking at the new Gibson Murphy Lab aged guitars. And this video is going to be about the 1958 reissues.
Oh, I've got a new drummer in.
Wet the bed. The ease of which this guitar wants to go into that kind of feedback sustain thing is ridiculous. But hey ho, welcome to another episode of Andertons TV with myself, the Captain.
And me, Danish Pete. Hello.
So, unless you've lived under a rock and don't know what YouTube is, or Instagram, or Facebook, or Gibson for that matter, you've probably heard that Gibson have launched a new aging process or aging option for their guitars through what they're calling Murphy Labs.
Yes. Good old Murphy.
Good old Murphy. If you're not familiar with Tom Murphy, or the aging process that Gibson have offered historically, Tom has been part of the Gibson team for nearly 30 years now. He was part of the team that set up the custom shop back in the 90s.
Yep.
He's been the kind of elite, most expensive option for the Gibson custom shop range if you've wanted him to personally kind of age your guitar.
Yeah.
And what Gibson have decided to do now is they've given Tom the sort of carte blanche to set up what's called Murphy Labs. So Murphy Labs now is where you buy a Gibson custom shop guitar. You still have the option for it to be either a gloss or a VOS finish straight out of custom shop.
Yeah.
Or you can opt for the guitar to go through Murphy Labs, where Tom will oversee with a team of highly skilled and trained people, sort of expert in aging guitars, to have anything from what they're calling sort of ultra light aging through to ultra heavy. Gibson are calling this an aging process. Fender call it a relic process. It's kind of so if we try and refer to this as aging rather than relic, it's just because we're trying to stick with the sort of the wording and terminology that Gibson want to use.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 4 or 5 videos actually on the new Murphy Labs stuff.
Yeah.
So this first video is going to be about the 58s. Actually, I lie, we've got a 56 here, but it's mainly about the 58s.
I did this one, by the way, Lee. I had my hair dry out.
It's your gold top, isn't it? Then we're going to do one on the 59s. Then I think we're going to look at some SGs, then some 335s.
Yeah.
And I know as well, one of the videos which is going to be cool that we're going to do is we're going to take a regular 58 custom shop. We might even take mine, I'm not sure, or we may take a brand new one.
Yeah.
But a non-aged one. We're going to take an aged one, and we've not decided yet which one, but one of the Murphy Labs one. And also we've got Pete's actual Tom Murphy, this which is 3 or 4 years old now, but is like a pre-Murphy Labs thing where it would just be a question of Tom Murphy himself.
Doing it himself.
And if Tom Murphy himself was here right now, you know what he'd say? He'd say, like and subscribe this video, please, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video.
So talking my guitar then, is there an option of getting Tom to actually still having a hand in it, or actually Tom's hand?
Not really. Gibson wanted to sort of kind of just make it Murphy Labs now rather than Tom Murphy H. They're still saying absolutely Tom Murphy will see every single guitar that goes through the lab.
Yeah.
And obviously he oversees and trains all the staff in there. There is still a made-to-measure, if you're not familiar, made-to-measure is like you spec exactly how you want the guitar to be done out of custom shop. So there is still a made-to-measure Murphy painted option. So Tom will literally finish your guitar for you. That adds about £4,000 onto the price just for that. And then you add on the Murphy Labs aging as well. So you could easily double the price of a custom
10,
shop
12
guitar
grand kind of
just to have Tom kind of paint it.
Because he would normally do somewhere on the lacquer, on mine has got a TM, so he would put some...
Like Homer Simpson always has sort of Matt Groening's kind of thing somewhere on him. You're
there's
saying
some,
like,
there's something,
So
anyway,
let's get into these. So spec-wise, you'll be pleased to know that all the spec for guitars that go through the Murphy Lab are the same spec as they would, normal custom shop, if there is such a thing as normal custom shop. So it's not like a different guitar. It is really just the aging process.
Yeah. Like Fender would do it, correct? Right? It's like
I think one of the things that Tom said when they launched all this was that they've gone to insane lengths to try to recreate the types of nitrocellulose finishing processes and the dyes and everything that you would have got back in the sort of 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So even as it ages, it hopefully ages like one would have done then.
Yeah.
But
that takes some skills, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this is probably less about letting you hear the guitars as much as showing them to you.
Yeah.
But I guess, be a silly video to do and
not play them. Yeah.
I can't believe in that opening jam. I mean, we're not crazy loud here. I've got the guitar into a Wampler compressor, the little Ego compressor, and then into the Dane. And honestly, I'm just lightly touching strings and the guitar's going, ooh, like full Nigel Tufnell,
Yeah. If you do, listen.
Yeah, listen. You could go and make a cup of tea and then come back. It was still. But honestly, I swear, and that's something I know. I kind of, for me, it's just something that Gibson have sort of bottled, and it's got to be something about this guitar design because it's so difficult to get that to happen.
It's difficult to replicate on other guitars, even in the same shape. I feel like when you've got something like that. And you know what? Look, check this out. So this is something that I know other people will not do on their relics, not just to jump ahead, but like having, I know some people don't like it, where the neck's worn down, where you get some dings in the neck. I really like that because it feels like it's been used for a long time.
Yeah,
you know, when you get sometimes you get a brand new neck and it feels completely new.
Let's maybe, I know, hopefully we'll do some sweeps of these earlier.
Yeah.
So
like
here we go.
Duca, my favorite. Yeah.
So here with the Gibson, this one I'm holding now is a Gibson ultralight aged. You'll be familiar with this idea of buying a gloss or a VOS finish guitar. They're still available, but this is the first with any sense of any sort of lacquer checking. So the nice thing on ultralight aged is there's no damage as such, and there's no sense that it's been chipped or anything like that. But there is some lacquer checking and little things like you can kind of see around the edge of the headstock. There's a little bit of like where the dye has faded a little bit, so, you know, as it would over time.
Yeah.
So that's ultralight aged. I'm just going to literally switch over.
Shall I give some tones quickly when we're here or not?
Shall we? Do you think they might sound different, you know, between sort of...
You know what those sounds are? I think when people go, does it sound different? I think the when you pick something up and it feels like it's been played in a bit, I think your fingers will go, your brain and the whole thing will make you play it slightly differently, I think, because... And
maybe.
Then it will sound, I think they sound different.
So I've taken all the pedals off now. We had a lot of reverb and stuff on that opening jam, but this is just the amp. I've even taken a little bit of bass end off the amplifier as well. It's so fat, this guitar.
Oh, that sounds...
I mean, honestly and truthfully, it's like, there are some videos where it's, you just... Some of the notes that come off the guitar and you just go, ooh. Anyway.
So this is the heavy aged.
Yeah.
And that's quite, to me, this is enough, I would say. This looks a little bit like Bernie Marsden's The Beast, doesn't it, somehow?
Ooh.
There, I say it. It's got that kind of proper aged lemon,
so someone
dirty
shot
lemon.
It from about 25, 30 feet away with a very low bore kind of shotgun.
It's got a lot of little like that in it. It's almost like somebody would have like some rings on and ding it a lot when you're playing. You know, you can see here. Or play with a heavy pick or something.
Here, strum here, just for some strange reason.
No, that's pretty. There.
No, I know it's like a bracelet.
I know it's something having a jangling bracelet on it. You know, and just when they're hammering it, that's what happens. Here's the back. You can see the buckle rash, as it's called there. The checking in this one is great on the back, and it's got a couple of dings on the neck there, so you get the little bits and pieces, like, you know.
I mean, the cool thing I think
I like this.
Tom Murphy awesome. and the journey that Gibson have been for Murphy Labs is, if you look at all the collector's choice guitars that they did, which I think they got up to like 35 or 40 of those collector's choice guitars.
I did 46 was the one I played. Scott's. Okay, that was amazing.
Still and they were. You know, real, you know, genuine guitars from that, you know, typically from the 50s, that they would, you know, really, really go to town with in terms of, you know, X-raying and MRI scanning woods and densities and getting the finishing right. And in fairness, you're never going to see, or are you? The chances of finding a burst, a 58 or a 59 burst in this condition, and if you did, it would be, you know, i.e. someone bought it, stuck it in the case, never ever played it, and then just, you know, 70 years later just went, I've got this guitar under my bed, I wonder what it's worth. Oh, that's it, I can just retire now and never work again.
Yeah.
They're going to look like that, aren't they?
They'll be messed up if they've been around for that long.
You know, way, or worse, you know what I mean? And that's perhaps where the ultra heavy aging. I tell you
this. If you look at this, the bridge here, and you see this, that's definitely where somebody's been playing and having a lot of sweat on that compared to that. So that's just little bits like that I really, really enjoy.
We should say as well, of course, if you're watching this concept of ultra light through to ultra heavy aging is on loads of Gibson models. So if you want to, and we'll cover SGs and 335s, but it's kind of pretty much whatever you want from the Gibson catalogue. If you want it Murphy labbed, you can.
Whatever you want. But let's hear this and see if it sounds any different. No pedals. It's just a Les Paul, isn't it? You know. This is completely clean into the amp, by the way. Here's the middle position. Here's the bridge. There's some Dane, but a slight little bit of gain. There's nothing wrong with these guitars, is there?
Look, I think there's not much else to tell you. I mean, I apologise if I'm sort of teaching you guys to, we'll get to price to sort of suck eggs. But again, there's lots and lots of different bursts that you see now in the Gibson range, and they all stem from a couple of different bursts. So if you go back and look at the 60th anniversary guitars that Gibson did for the 58, the 59 and the 60, they were each available in just 2 bursts, and they were the 2 original factory bursts that came out of Gibson. And then all these modern, like iced tea and honey and lemon and everything, that's all to do with how those finishes reacted over the years with the environment that they were in, light, sweat, whatever it is. So it's kind of crazy in that, there absolutely wasn't this idea of like 20 different bursts back in the day.
There was 2, wasn't it? 2. Yeah, that was it.
So we got one more guitar to show you before our end jam. Now, of course, before the humbucker was the P90, and so this one is a 56, which has got the regular Tune-o-matic tailpiece on it. There are earlier versions of that gold top with just the wraparound, or even, I don't know if they still have the 52 in the catalogue where it's got the trapeze tailpiece. And there's a 57 gold top which does have the humbuckers on it.
Yeah, okay.
So, but this is the 56. It's probably, I think of all the P90 loaded Les Pauls, it's probably the one I feel is the one that I would want the most, with the Tune-o-matic tailpiece on it. Yeah,
because the other one, I remember we played Bernie's 52.
52 is really awkward.
Because
it sits really high, doesn't it? Yeah, 54 is okay because you just got the normal wraparound on it.
Yeah, on the wraparound here. But that was really
let's have a little listen to this.
Let's have a listen. I'm wearing my matching Gibson gold T-shirt. Yeah, I know. I'm this kind of guy. I'm gonna put a gunshot in, check this out. Neck pickup. It's such a classic tone, isn't it, with the P90s, the back pickup with a bit of a drive gain.
It still sounds like a Les Paul to me, but just like, with a different,
wood doesn't matter.
Different pickup.
Does it? Wood doesn't.
So there we are. That's the little run through. We're going to jam out now. So there you go. All you people that hate aged and relict guitars, you can hate on Gibson as well as Fender now. So you should be pleased.
You'll comment below.
Yeah, comment below. But please, 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 all we ever want to say is, look, go and try guitars. And if you try an aged one and you like it, then that's great. And you're allowed to say you like it. And if you tried one and you didn't like it, then you're allowed to say you didn't like it too.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that you're right. So there we are. Let's go. Let's jam out, Mr. Pete.
Please like, subscribe, see you later.
Yes.